game that was, huh? And that was only the first game of the year. This is sweet. So, I have a low 9 act of kindness. And, well, this low is kind of like a blessing in disguise, I suppose, because I don't know if you guys remember this, but I had to get my computer fixed, and a lot of my files wound up being gone. One of those files was, throughout the NFL season, I'll essentially make my NFL picks, and specifically remember the ones I got right and the ones I got wrong. I would write them down, and that would be my score for the week. I would do this 18 times, as well as the several weeks after the playoffs, and my overall record would be however many picks I got right versus how many picks I got wrong. I say this because I had to create a new file. Meaning, if I can bring it over. I don't know if you can tell, but that says 1-0. I got last night's game right, that's why it's 1-0. So as it goes on, I'm gonna go further down, each row is gonna be a different week, in case you're wondering how that works. So right now I am 1-0. First game of the year I got right. I don't know what it's going to be by the end of the year, but it'll be exciting to see. Plus, I'm keeping score with it. But just the fact that football's back, that's already enough for a high easily. And even better knowing that we have a game tonight too. Yeah, it's on Peacock, which I don't have access to, but everyone's going to find a way to watch it. Someone is. I'll be making my pick a little bit later in this video. But I got to talk about my act of kindness. And speaking of football, I got to talk about Hot Ones. But before that, my act of kindness was I helped make dinner last night. My mom made a roast. And I made a rice and Brussels sprouts to go with it. So, on the surprise turn of events, we actually had something Hot Ones related yesterday. Interesting. So, in celebration for the first day of the NFL season, Hot Ones had a huge special going out, which Esther Choi from Heat Eaters was making essentially poppers, basically out of jalapenos and habaneros and scotch bonnets. Basically, it's kind of like popper roulette, where you bite into it and it's hot. They look really good. I'll be honest, I've never really had jalapeno poppers all that much. I mean, I like them if I ever had them, but honestly, when I think of deep fried bar food, my go-tos are, the classics, fries and onion rings, stuff like that. But they did look very good, so shout out to Esther Choi on that one. Then a camera guy, Bill, again, camera guy on Hot Ones, he was going around New York giving away trivia. Obviously, if you got it wrong, you had to take it by the last dab. Here's an easy trivia question. How many teams in the NFL are named after birds? I'll give you a hint, it's actually close to this number. The answer is 5. But, hey, that's real. Actually, one thing that I didn't know, or didn't realize until it was told me, here's another one. What New York team exclusively plays all of their home games in the state of New York? It's the Buffalo Bills. That's very interesting. And they did a few things like what's Sean Evans' favorite team? He's a Chicago Bears fan. Again, in case anyone's wondering, I'm wearing a Chicago Bears jersey because it's a Jay Cutler jersey, and Cutler is my last name. So it works. There was one more trivia question that camera guy Bill asked I can't remember. I can't quite remember what it was. But it was really good trivia, and I did learn some stuff. They also talked. One trivia question was what NFL pick did Sean Evans make in the NFL draft last year? Which is really exciting. So yeah, but we gotta talk about the Hot Ones episode itself. It was only 5 sauces, and it takes a powerful man to get through those 5 powerful sauces, and that man is known as Cam Hayward. For those of you who don't know, Cam Hayward is a defensive tackle, all-pro defensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you don't mind me saying, a definite Hall of Fame candidate when the time comes. Here's the thing. Obviously, I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm not really a big fan of the Steelers. But just because I don't like the team or the organization, that doesn't mean I don't like the players. I love Cam Hayward. I think Cam Hayward is one of the most upstanding gentlemen in the NFL. The man just won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for his community work. And speaking of which, that was the first question that Sean asked. He asked about various community service projects he's most excited about going forward. And he made this one charity called Craig's Closet, which I think is a very smart and very, and actually a concept that I greatly support myself. And that's basically what Craig's Closet does is it provides suits for young men, for young men. You know, because listen, as men grow up, you know, they need to dress for success. You know, like job interviews, important events like funerals and weddings. And Craig's Closet helps provide suits for these young men. Sort of like the mantra of, like, if you look good, you play good. You know, it's that sort of like mentality. He also talked about, like, because he's definitely in the media with his podcast and everything, you know, not just about football, I believe it's called. He talked about how he wants to provide a more honest approach on his podcast. I mean, yeah, they talk about football on his podcast, but they also talk about other things. And honestly, like with podcasts like, again, the one Cam Hayward has, or New Heights with the Kelsey brothers, I love those. I mean, I'll be honest, there's a lot of podcasts I need to get on that, I'm sorry, I don't have time. Like, seriously, like, even if each podcast I needed to listen to were, like, for an hour, like, there wouldn't be enough hours in the day to watch them all. I'm sorry. But, point is, podcasts like the ones Cam Hayward has, or, again, New Heights with the Kelsey brothers, they provide, like, a player's perspective on it. Like, they were actually there. Like, they would know probably better than anyone else. I think that's really cool. They talked about Cam's experiences getting vetted out as he was starting in the NFL. Like, back when he was in Denver, he told a joke and no one laughed, and then he dropped the marker thinking, oh no, I messed up the interview. And in Tampa Bay, he was asked what his vice was, which he had no idea what a vice even is. I think he made up something like I forget what he said, what he made up, but the point is, like, he made it up trying to play along, which I think is funny. I mean, listen, everyone at some point has a vice. I know I have my fair share of vices, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you're human. That's just my perspective. Sean then asked about various Pittsburgh traditions, like if pierogies are overrated or underrated. Totally underrated. Actually, I'm part Polish. I should be a huge advocate for pierogies, if we're being honest. Honestly, I haven't had a good pierogi in a while. I could probably eat like 5 dozen pierogies if I want to. He talked about some Pittsburgh saying, like what a nebby is, which means being in someone's business. The term of everyone saying downtown, and how Pittsburgh is essentially the progenitor of the phrase tough as nails. He talked about how the cable car incline would be a more appropriate means of tourism than the Andy Warhol Museum. And his favorite Pittsburgh athlete of all time, Mean Joe Green. Which, I mean, listen, Mean Joe Green was well before my time, but I've seen the clips. Like, there's a reason why you call him Mean Joe Green. Which is funny because off the field, Mean Joe Green was one of the nicest human beings on the face of the earth. Actually, I think he's still alive. Yeah, Mean Joe Green's like one of the nicest people on the face of the earth. Sean asked him, like, who's the nicest offensive lineman you go against? And he's like, I don't know, I don't like any of them. Which, to be fair, that's his job. Listen, Cam Hayward's a defensive tackle. Like, he goes up against every offensive line in the NFL pretty much. He knows what to expect and not to expect. Offensive linemen and defensive linemen, like, they dislike each other, but they have just enough respect to keep it clean. Honestly, again, I've shared this before, I really wasn't very good at football. If I really were to do it all over again, I should have been like a center or a left tackle, because I'm left-handed. Yes, I'm basing it on the fact I'm left-handed. I mean, left-handed guy up in here. Anyway, talked about, is there a rule that disadvantages the defense too much, and the holding call, they either don't call it, or they either call it too much, or in Cam Hayward's case, they don't call it enough. And you know what? Here's the thing. I know I've shared this before. I'll share it again. But for all the flack that a certain member of I give to a certain member of my family, I'll give him this. Analytics and football are stupid, and Cam Hayward thinks so too. I'm sorry. Like, people are wondering how gambling's ruined the NFL. It's because of analytics. If it wasn't for that, it would have been the Lions in the Super Bowl last year. Just saying. Talked about how favorite person to sack was Tom Brady. Again, he hates analytics. They don't really tell the whole story. Cam Hayward's one of the only defensive tackles to get an interception. Actually got several interceptions. There's just like a great feeling about that. That's awesome. And the last question is, what makes The Goonies the best movie of all time? Now, me personally, I love The Goonies. I think it's one of Steven Spielberg's best movies by far. And a lot of people could get different answers for this, but I love Cam Hayward's answer a lot because he said, I mean, it's little kids searching for a treasure. What little kid doesn't want to look for treasure? Like pirates and stuff. That's cool. That is really cool. Actually, fun fact about Cam Hayward, and I actually just learned this about him watching this episode yesterday. I actually had no idea Cam Hayward's dad played in the NFL. Ironhead Hayward is what he went by. In fact, Sean Evans mentioned that Cam Hayward's dad, Ironhead Hayward, was his first favorite player. That's pretty cool. So, in a way, that was a full circle moment. It's pretty awesome. Again, I may not be a fan of the Steelers, but I do have a lot of respect for any player in the NFL. I got much respect for Cam Hayward. So, Cam Hayward, congratulations on quickly getting through the wings of death. Wish you much success going forward. Wish you success on your season. Even if the Steelers win the Super Bowl, yeah, I'll be mad, but the one person I'll be happy for, actually, there'll be several people I'll be happy for, but for Cam Hayward, I'll definitely be happy for him. Cam Hayward's awesome. Love Cam Hayward. And you know what? Speaking of football, it's that time. It's about time to make my NFL pick for today. So I was right about yesterday's game. So let me get the NFL schedule. So tonight's game. You know, in a lot of ways, this pick should be really easy for me to make. But I hate the fact it's this game because I don't like either team. I mean, it's the Green Bay Packers, which, I mean, honestly, my hatred towards Green Bay really is more for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is no longer on the Green Bay Packers, and I still hate the Packers. That's how much Aaron Rodgers ruined everything. Which is really sad, too, because I may have told you the story already. My first football team I ever liked was the Green Bay Packers, simply because green was my favorite color. And then they lost in the Super Bowl, and I got mad. But, I have respect for the Packers. I did. And even though they completely shellacked my Cowboys in the playoff game last year, I really think Green Bay is going to be a force this year. A real solid force. And then there's the other team. The one team I hate more. The team I dislike with the white-hot intensity of 1,000 suns. The Philadelphia Eagles. I do not like the Eagles. They're evil. That's what the Eagle stands for. It stands for evil. That's how it works. But I gotta make one pick. And again, just like I said with Cam Hayward and the Steelers, I hate the Eagles. But I actually like Jalen Hurts. And even though Jason Kelce is no longer on the team, I did like Jason Kelce. Which is odd for me to say because if there was any Philadelphia Eagle that hated my Dallas Cowboys more, it was probably him. So, who am I picking for this? This is tough. This is really tough. You know what? I think I'm going to keep this one simple. Okay, Packers, let's see what you got. If you guys can go to Jerry World and do what you did, if you guys did a half of what you did to my Cowboys against the Eagles, you guys are going to win. Actually, shoot, this is hard. Unfortunately, because this is the first game of the year, it's more difficult to make picks than I would care to admit. I mean, the Eagles are at home. That's actually the one thing I completely didn't take into consideration in yesterday's pick was that the Chiefs were at home, too. I think I'm going to go with... You know what? There's a very good chance that no one from the NFC East is going to win a game. I mean, I'm still going to pick my Cowboys on Sunday, but I'll get to that on Sunday. My head is picking the Packers. My heart's actually picking the Eagles. Now I'm thinking of that one Toy Story clip, use your head. But I don't want to use my head. You know what? If Jordan Love really is the next big thing, let's see what he's got. I'm picking the Packers. I hope you all like this video. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on social media. As always, I'm very humbled to make this video for all you guys watching. Enjoy your family. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. Oh, happy Friday, folks. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk, channel will be here to let me know what's your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.